what are the what are the few objections that we all most likely come across when we are in that stage of meeting new people, inviting them once you meet them. So basically more about the second and the third of the four basics. Yeah, you know what I mean? Okay, contacting and inviting and putting it out there. Okay, so I'm going to throw a few questions as well. So if anybody has got any particular question that they might be also coming across, okay, write it on a piece of paper and hand it across. We can have a look as well. Okay, now this is my personal experience. Of course, don't go around and change it drastically. Okay, just talk to the person who's invited, who's working with you, your upline, as to how it applies to your personality, your business, because they know it best. Okay, so this is something that I usually come across when I'm out there meeting new people. Tell me more about it. Anybody comes across that? When you're meeting people out there. Okay, and I still remember when I was new, I used to show the whole plan. Man, that guy, by the time I was like, okay, so are you interested? I was like, no. Right? Okay. So the idea was to do what? Again, we have, I'm sure we all have learned in multiple series. We've gone to multiple conference calls. We have learned it in IBO field guide and things like that. That when you're contacting a person, the idea is to do what? Is just to give an overview about what you're doing and to put the business in front of the person. Right? We don't need to show the plan. Okay, so when somebody asks me, tell me more about it. Okay, I just usually keep it very simple, depending upon, again, there's no one answer to it. Okay, I usually say, hey, we are actually working with some major corporate houses in Australia. Okay, where we are helping them to put an online platform together in collaboration with a few entities, right? And of course, the question is, what most likely we get more from them?
How do you do that?
How do you do that? Tell me more about it. Okay, so this is the point where I can actually, I take a stand. Okay, again, depending upon the interest of the person, how genuinely is he asking me? Okay, his body language. Okay, I'll always say, hey, how about we do this? I'm actually in a rush. Okay, 1 to 2 minutes is the maximum time I usually spend. I'm actually in a rush. Okay, how about we do this? I can shoot you my number. Okay, and when I get the time in the next couple of days, I'll give you a call. What's the best time during this week? Say, depending upon which time of the week I'm meeting him. If I'm meeting somebody on Monday, I don't want to actually wait till the weekend or something. Hey, what time in the week is a good day? Good day for you, for me to meet you, to call you between a Tuesday and a Wednesday evening. Now, 2 options always. Right? This is what we learn. You give 2 options. You don't keep it open-ended. Why? If you keep it open-ended, right? Okay, what time in the week can I call you? Man, that means I'm available all the time. Hey, between Tuesday evening and Wednesday evening, what's a better day for me to give you a call? Right? Okay, if you say, of course, Tuesday evening, hey, I might have some time either early evening or late evening. What would you prefer? Okay, so you are trying to zero it down to the least, where there are not many ways a person can say no to me. Okay, now. Would you like to add something in the invitation part? Okay, I'll go and give it to you. Okay. Now, the other thing what I usually come across is, hey, is it Amway? How many people come across that? Yeah. Right? Why? Because I personally believe, okay, that most people I'm saying, they would have definitely come across this business opportunity through someone either in this country or overseas about the business. Fair enough to say that? So when somebody say, hey, is it Amway? Right? Okay. Initially, again, going back to my old days, I used to panic, number one, sweating. Oh man, I wish this guy is not asking me that question. Nowadays, I look forward to that question. Okay, hey, is it Amway? Hey, why do you say so? What makes you say so? Right? Okay. Oh yeah, I've seen it. A few years back. Okay. If somebody says I've seen it a few years back, hey, I don't know what you have seen, right? But you haven't seen it till the time I have shown it to you. Okay, that's one way. Sometimes I say, hey, things have changed drastically since the last 12 months. We've actually partnered with a lot of companies. We're actually moving from e-commerce to m-commerce and all those things. We can say and get the person to show him. My idea is to show him things that he doesn't know, right? My closing statement would be, hey, if you are open to find out what has changed since the last time you saw it, okay, I'm happy to exchange number with you. If not, hey, that's also completely fine. Right? Okay. The other thing is, is it a multi-level marketing? Is it MLM or is it network marketing? Okay. Again, answer a question with a question. Hey, why do you say so? Right? Why? Because my experience, most people who talk about multi-level marketing is all hearsay. Can you all agree to that?
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Hey, what do you? My question. Hey, what do you understand by multi-level marketing? First of all, most people have no idea what they even. They talk any CRAP. Okay. Right? Hey, what do you understand by multi-level marketing? Right? Okay, network marketing. Hey, what do you understand by network marketing? As actually, if you actually go to see today, any business if you go to see. In fact, the other day I met somebody on the train and he was like, this is network marketing, and guess what he was doing? He was doing Facebook. I was like, hey, can I ask you what are you doing right now? He said, oh, I'm Facebook. I was like, isn't it this is networking? Isn't it what you're doing? Right? Hey, guess what? Understand, in today's world, every company, it's like this. I was just listening to a CD where they said that even big companies like Microsoft, Apple, and all, they've got two things. One is a product and service line, and then the other they have a division or a department which takes care of marketing and sales. Right? Hey, so why are we any different? Right? Hey, but I always say, hey, we are nothing like what you are talking about. Okay, most likely what you're thinking is definitely not what. In fact, if it was that, I've got enough degrees behind me for me to understand that this is not something I should get myself involved into. Okay? Hey, if you are willing to find out what is the truth behind it, let's exchange numbers and I can run you through when we meet next. Okay? Now, the thing is, I'm quite busy at the moment, maybe later. How many people come across that? I'm quite busy at the moment. Right? Okay, and I was like, I usually ask them a question. Hey, that's absolutely fine. Again, I always see the genuineness of it. Like right now, if this is the time of the year when a lot of IT people are actually busy, honestly busy. Right? Okay, if you IT people in this room working crazy 10, 12, 15 hours, right? Okay, I'll say, hey, I absolutely understand. Okay, right? Yeah, I understand it's going to be it's a busy time of the year for you. It's a close before the Christmas. Okay, but how genuine are you to find out about what we discussed? Why? Because then it makes sense for me to exchange numbers with you. If not, hey, no big deal. Right? And then I'll say, hey, that's fine. So I'm pretty sure, by 25th you're closing. Right? How about if you're not going away overseas or, you got any plans, let's meet up during the Christmas break. I can run you through the information. It's a good time of the year when you can actually think fresh. You've got no work pressure. Most likely it will be all done. And we can start the year ending or the beginning of the next year with something concrete. Okay? Then and if somebody who is there, how many people come across somebody just kind of in a cocky way will say, oh no, I'm too busy. Anybody comes across it? Yeah. Right? Okay. And then I say, hey, how again? You look at a person, right? You ask a few qualifying questions. You exactly know where he is. If somebody who's been in this country for 8-10 years, working for 5-6 years in any particular field, again depending on which company they work for, we all have worked in our life enough, I believe, that we can know exactly what income level they are at. And I always say, hey, I absolutely agree with you, okay, that we all are busy in life, right? But I'm sure you'll agree that, hey, we all are not so busy in life that we are only making 50, 80, 100, 150. I'll always give $10,000, $20,000 more than what he's making. Make him realize, right? Okay, hey, I'm sure you're not that busy to make $100,000 that you can't make 150 in the next 5 years, right? And by the way, hey, this income and project I'm talking about is in your spare time on top of what you could be making. No? If that sounds great, hey, let's talk further. If not, I don't even exchange numbers nowadays. Initially, I was like that, man, anyhow I want to get this guy's number. Anyhow. I used to get off at Stratford station behind that guy. But hey, guess what? Now, you learn through doing, again, the key to the question, anybody here is less than 30, 60, 90 days, okay? It's always okay to do a little bit of mistakes in the initial. Why? Because that's when we realize what not to do in the future. Right? Okay, so we have done that, and like, man, I've lost posture. Even if I've got the number of that guy at the station, guess what? He's never picked my call. Right? I might still have his number. Okay? But hey, sometimes it works, and the perfect example is, we know in this room, not many people know, I actually met him a year and a half back. And he's exchanged numbers, we exchanged numbers, and guess what? He came into our business a year and a half later. Imagine. So don't discount anybody, but he was genuine, he was not here. But with that, I'd like to give it to Jess for her to cover.
I think I'm just going to switch gears a little bit and cover a little bit things, I guess, some of the hidden questions we as IBOs have. Okay, and I guess who's had questions but never asked their uplines maybe? Let's be honest. Even if your upline is sitting in the room, I can raise my hand. Right? I think we all have questions. It doesn't matter, if you're at 6%, 9%, 12%, whatever, platinum in this business or whatever it is. you always question sometimes, when you're going through those lows or the highs of this business, right? So some of the things, we used to think, like obviously when we got started, we were like parties Friday night, Saturday chill out and, all those kind of things. And I used to always question Umang, that was his department. No, but more it was like, is it actually, is it taking a lot out of us? Okay, is it too time consuming? We used to always, I used to question this. Maybe not him, but I used to question this as well. And then I realized that we need to understand where our priorities lie. Okay, some things that we do today are more present focused, like the activities we do are very present focused. But some activities we also do every day that is future focused, right? And when I actually reflect back, the reason who's done a degree in this, who's done any degree, doesn't matter in this country or not, right? Guess what? When we were actually studying, was it a future focused activity or a present focused activity? Future. Where we didn't even know that we were going to get a job or not, right? But guess what? We had complete faith in it, and we somehow made time to study, to work, to maintain the house, to do everything, right? So what we had to understand is where did our priorities lie? Okay. Honestly, what we thought, when I was a student, I thought I was super busy. Guess what? As a professional, you're like triple busy. Okay. Then when I see people that have kids, I'm like, man, they can pull their hair off their head. Okay. But guess what? We always make time for things that are important to us. Okay. And I'm sure we've always heard the saying, something which is important and urgent, something which is important but not so urgent. And you actually kind of categorize your activities in those categories, and that way you are more focused in terms of getting the things done. That's at least how I work. Okay, something that can wait for later doesn't need my attention today. It's okay. Okay, and also we have to understand that we can either have excuses or we can have choices in life. Okay, did we have our family tell us, oh, you're so busy, you don't have time to start with us? Yes. Okay, but guess what? We actually put it on a calendar that we're going to spend time and talk to family and whatever. Okay, and honestly, in fact, on your phone, you can actually see how much time you spend on Facebook and YouTube, if you didn't know that, okay? And that is the biggest eye-opener, because I think that's the biggest time killer as well, okay? Whether we like it or not, open your phone, go to the storage or whatever, the battery percentage thing it is, it'll tell you exactly how much of your battery goes in Facebook, okay? And it's mind-blowing that how much time people have, okay? Second thing, obviously, you don't have money. Initially, you want to have to invest in tools. How much am I going to keep investing? When I'm going to see the return coming? And I guess, especially as women, sometimes we think a lot about it, okay? Because we always, like, where's the return? Where's the return? We are investing. But I have to understand, again, it was a faith thing and a belief thing that, it's a business, it's not a job. And we always pay it forward, okay? And when we get that question in a plan from a student, honestly, I don't buy that. Okay, we've all lived a student life. If we have smartphones, we can afford to get started in this business. Okay, if we've all had to go to uni parties, we figured out those $150 to spend that night. Guess what? It's the same thing for this business as well. But it was all about how we could connect, and we always make ourselves put ourselves in their shoes, because what we understood was sometimes we become so IBOized that we forget to relate to the outside world, and that's where we were at least falling back, right? Another thing was, I can't come to all associations. Who's ever had that question? How many meetings do I have to come? Okay, and I guess for us, when we had that question, that time when we reflect back, that was we were building our client's business. We were not building our business. There was no sense of business ownership. But today, if we come to an open meeting or base meeting, or be it anything, it's our business. It's our open meeting. It's not like, oh, we are going to Team One Global's open meeting. Okay, so it was all about ownership, and it was all about being green versus being that rotten apple or whatever it is. Okay, because we always want to keep learning, because something that I've put a scare in myself, that the day I stop learning, I'll stop growing this business. And the day I have that attitude that I know it all, that's the end for me, right? So be it, doesn't matter whoever's speaking on stage, I always want to pick up that one point that maybe can help me in my business as well, okay? And something I picked up from the BBS from Hamilton Smith, that was, if you're passionate about something, you're never tired, you're always satisfied, okay? And I think that is so powerful, because I get tired from work, but if I come back home with 3 facials done, with a lot of retail, I'm not tired, I'm satisfied, okay? If we show a plan, we're satisfied, not tired, okay? So this is just about having that mindset shift, okay? Another thing was, is it worth it? Trust me, we still question this. Okay, is it worth it? Who's had that question? You know, how much do we have to go through? You know, all those questions come up, okay? But the question we had was, today if our pay rate is say $30 per hour at work, okay? And if I was to make an extra for $40 to $50 per hour at work, what were my options? Okay? And how could I do it? Maybe it was just me going for another degree. Again, that required time. It was basically, bottom line was adding value to myself. And only if I can add value to myself, that's when my worth would increase, okay? So guess what? What I had to understand in this business was, the more I studied it, okay, the more I understood where the money lies in this business, okay? I'm a numbers person. I love to know where the money is, because that motivates me, because I know what the goal is and where I can shoot for, okay? So if I know how I can get there, I'm super fired up. Okay, so it was all about studying this business, and guess what? Then you will never question it, okay? And I was also another person that, I would say, oh, money is not everything, okay? And I still think money is not everything, but what I had to understand was money buys choices. It brings happiness to people's life. Like, I love doing charity, for example. Like, I want to do so much, but I realized that, I just can't do that, because physically I need that cash flow coming in, right? Okay, last thing was, can I do it? Okay, this was my biggest one, especially for people who know me. When I got started, I was a very shy person. I would not make conversation with anybody. Like, coming to an open meeting was like torture for me, because I didn't know anybody except for my clients, okay? And even they were strangers to us at one point in time, okay? So this was my biggest roadblock, and he was completely the opposite. So he used to talk to everybody, and I used to stand in one corner, okay? But that was again about self-belief, okay? And the system actually helped me personally to grow myself, and strong communication with uplines is what helped me as well, okay? So if you're somebody, feeling a little bit out of your comfort zone, guess what? You're not alone, okay? Everybody's gone through that some shape, way, or form, okay? And the last thing is, I don't have skills, okay? Or I can't speak like you. I think we've had this couple of times with different prospects saying to us, and then we used to think, why are they saying that? And then we realized that, someone said that your plan you should not be interesting. You should be somebody who that they can relate to. If you just, share an interesting plan with them, guess what? They'll never relate to that. So that's where we had to start connecting with people. And in the business, it's a skill-based business, okay? I still say this, retailing was never my thing, okay? There was one thing I was super scared about, was retail in this business. And guess what? Today, I always kept telling myself that my biggest weakness was my biggest strength, okay? And it has become my biggest strength now, okay? So it's a skill-based business, it's not talent-driven. So guess what? Anybody can do it if we just educate ourselves and grow ourselves. So with that, we are done, and back to Mark.
Excellent talk. Great, guys. So with that, we are done, and I would like to give it back to Kundan. Thank you.